Wow. Blake Cousins here, third phase of moon. Busy week. Lots of UFOs. The new year is upon us. And, it's my brother and I's birthday today, so I couldn't say that I would want to be anywhere else than being on Third Phase Moon Radio. Today, special. We got two guests. We got Troy. Troy's back. He's with his incredible close encounters and photographs, artistic renditions of his encounters. Troy's actually a master skateboarder too. He could do handstands on a skateboard that would make your breaking records. It blows the mind of what Troy is accomplishing on the skateboard, but what he's doing in regards to his art and his close encounters with aliens. Now, that's what we want to get Troy back on, because Troy has a lot of information, I know, about being abducted. And then also we have Chalice. Chalice is back. We all heard her story as well. Quite shocking. Her dad worked at Area 51. She's been to Area 51. She's met the J-Rod. Her dad, Bob Lazar and some the Guardian. She's met a lot of people, and she knows a lot of info, in my opinion. We're going to be asking her questions in regards to, how did her father die? Or was he murdered? Or is he still alive? There's a lot that we're going to be going over on Third Phase of Moon. This is quite special. And you know what? I want to give a shout out to a couple guys that helped us out today. We're doing something. We had to get it done today. And let me tell you, Keenan and Triton really helped out. So a big shout out to those guys. We're going to be getting back to Troy and Chalice right here at Third Phase of Moon. That's coming up next, people. Stand by. This is going to be quite amazing, and you might not want to miss it. All right, Third Phase of Moon's back, and this is Blake Cousins. We're going to get to Troy and his incredible story and his artwork. Let's get to it right now, and then right after that, we're going to get to Chalice. So, this is going to be an amazing ride right here at Third Phase of Moon. Let's see. Is Troy there? You there? Do you hear me there?
Hey, Blake.
Hey, Troy. How's it going?
It's great. It's a wonderful 11 degrees here in Colorado.
Uh-oh. Now, that's something that I have no idea what that cold's all about. I try to avoid the cold. We're here in sunny Hawaii right now. But, hey, Troy, thanks for joining us on our birthday, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for letting me tell my story.
Well, you know what? We got a guest, and his name is F1. F1, he's been discharged from the Navy because he's reported a UFO sighting, and they discharged him, and his life has really never been the same since. And he's got questions for both Chalice and Troy tonight. And if anybody else has any questions, they want to give it on the flash chat. They want to call in. These guests are ready to take it because, I believe what they're saying. I believe that both Chalice and Troy have experienced something outer worldly. The number to call in is 347-934-0378. Let's start off again, Troy, from the beginning, because I want to refresh the people at Third Phase of Moon if they missed it. And then we got some questions for you. Could you briefly explain on how you realize that we're not alone?
Okay, we're not alone, definitely. I've been trying to tell people my story. Of course, it's difficult to believe, and seeing with your own two eyes is believing, but I've told this story a billion times in the last 24 years. I'm 49 years old right now. This happened 24 years ago. I was 23 years old. And the climate is really warm in Arizona, so I decided to live outside and take showers and stuff at the health club. One night after about a year of camping out, I was having a nice time. I had to work late at night. I was a dishwasher. I worked at the Village of Oak Creek, the Oak Creek Owl in Sedona, Arizona. So I had to wash dishes really late at night. So I'd go to my tent probably about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, depending on what I was doing. This was about 3 o'clock. I came to my tent, and then went inside my tent, and was just sitting there trying to go to sleep, took my shoes off, and I heard this swirling wind in the trees, blowing. And I was like, wow, that's cool. It sounded a little weird for wind. Then it got louder and louder. Then it sounded like it had maybe blown a branch out of the top of the tree, and it hit the dirt on the ground. And I thought, oh, well, a branch fell next to my tent. And then it was silent all of a sudden. So I'm sitting there, just kind of relaxing, waiting to go to sleep. And then I hear somebody take 4 footsteps in the dirt. Crunch, crunch, crunch. And I'm like, who the hell is it? It's like 4 feet away from my tent. And my heart started beating a little bit there. And I'm like, who is that? And so I'm sitting here thinking, you better say something to this guy, whoever this guy is. And I tried to say something to him like, what do you want? Or who are you? And I couldn't speak. I couldn't talk. So I kind of got scared that I couldn't open my mouth and say anything. So I tried to breathe. My heart started beating. My face was getting hot. Then I said, I finally got enough energy to say, I hope you know that I know you're there, and I also hope you know I am fully protected, because I didn't know who it was. So I'm sitting there in my tent, and I'm wondering what's going on. I heard a swallow and a stomach growl. And I'm like, oh, my God, the guy's still there. And he was just standing there for about 5 minutes, quiet. Then all of a sudden I see in my nylon zipper on my tent was so used that it didn't work anymore. So I just pushed the little dome. I had a 4-man dome tent with a queen-size mattress in it and sheets and blankets and all that stuff. And the door was always wide open because the zipper was broken. So this person standing there to the left of me, but out of the vision of the door open. But where the door is open, I see like a little silver, like antenna looking thing. And I'm like, what is that guy doing? He's holding like a little silver thing there. And I'm like looking at this little silver thing, and then it goes away. And I'm like, what was that? And then I see it again. And I'm like, what the heck? This guy's got like a walkie-talkie or something with an antenna, or what is that? And I look at it, but it's not really an antenna. It's more of a long silver spike. And then it goes away again, like he's busy and he's not paying attention. And then he puts it back again. And then I see this little hand holding the thing. And so all of a sudden, I kind of like, I went over to the tent, to the right-hand side of the tent, kind of far, like thinking whatever this guy's doing. And I saw this little hand. I was starting to freak out. And then right in my ear on the other side of the nylon, I hear somebody cup their hands over their mouth, because you can tell the difference when you hear the voice. I hear this right in my ear, because I'm really close to the right-hand side of the tent. I just turn my face very slow, and I look at the nylon in my face, the orange tent, and I'm like, and then I heard it again, another similar sound, further away in the forest, in the bushes there. And then I started crying, because I'm like, I think I know what's going on. I can't believe it. Then it's kind of hard to remember, because I think they did something to me. I'm pretty sure they did something to me. And all of a sudden I felt so scared that I felt all numb, and I was ready to pass out. I'm trying to breathe slow. And then as my zipper was broken on the front door, I see this little guy come in, this alien, the little one, reaching in. And I'm just looking at it kind of casually like, oh, look, that's not real. And I was completely okay with it. But the thing that freaked me out was the sound of it sliding against the polyester of the tent. And my brain was saying, you can hear it, but if it's not real, how come you can hear it? And I was like, then I started getting really, really scared, and it was coming towards me real slowly, like, don't worry, don't worry. And I was like, I'm worried. And I was like, no, 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 no. And I felt like I was crawling up inside myself as far as I could get to the back of the tent. And it was coming really slow towards me, reaching. It was coming towards my head. And I just said to myself, I literally said, okay, goodbye. And I passed out. The next thing I know, I'm standing barefoot with outside next to my tent, and I'm leaned way over, standing up, and I woke up. And I didn't think anything of it, forgot about that guy and everything. And I could feel my feet cold in the sand. And so I'm sitting there, and I'm going, well, la, 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 you know, I'm out here in the desert in Sedona, Arizona, and it's really nice, and I could feel the cold. And I'm like, you know, I feel really numb all over, like Novocaine. And so I see a couple of little sticks and pine needles and things, and I'm pushing my feet on them, and I'm like, God, I can't even feel that stuff. I feel really numb. And so because I was a dishwasher, I had to pick up mats and blast them with the hose and everything every single night. I had to mop and everything, and I came to my tent every night about 2 or 3. My back kind of hurt from leaning over, so I went to stand up, and then something tells me, I think it's better that you just lean over. And I'm like, okay. So I leaned back over, and when I did that, I saw in the corner of my left eye something move. So I just kind of jerked my head and looked at it, and it was one of these short little aliens. The head was about as big as a beach ball. The eyes were black, a little bigger than a horse's eye or something like that. Of course, the almond shape. And when I turned to look at it, it kind of was moving or doing something, and it stopped. It froze, like, uh-oh, like, you don't see me. Instantly, when I saw him, he was about 2.5 feet tall, with a head about as big as a beach ball, maybe 1.5 feet wide, kind of weird.
Troy, let me ask you this: how many fingers did this being have?
Well, it was either 2 and a thumb or 3 and a thumb.
No, that's you know, I think that's what people wanted to know, because that's I'm just wondering, that just went through the legit test as far as people wanting to, because they ask them how many fingers do they have, and apparently they have 3. So, you know, that's a good start. You know what we're going to do now, Troy, is we're going to get some questions in. What happens with this alien? That you're describing.
There's a little more. This was just a second. When I looked at this thing standing next to me, I actually went to throw up. I couldn't handle it. I couldn't take what I was seeing. So I just went to throw up, but I didn't throw up. I just passed out instead, and I leaned over. Now, I fell asleep. I went, passed out. Now, then a few seconds later, and this is the scary thing. That was scary, but this is the scary part. So I woke up again, and I'm leaning over, and my back hurts. So I keep getting up, and I keep, going, oh, my back hurts. And it's me talking to myself. I'm like, I think I should probably lean back over. And I'm like, no. I leaned over, and I'm like, no, my back hurts, man. I'm not leaning over. And then I'm arguing with myself if I should lean over or not. I'm like, I'm not going to lean over. My back hurts, but I'll just stare over here at the trees and the rocks over here, and I won't look behind me. But I feel like something's behind me. So I said, I'm going to look behind me. And again, I started arguing with myself, and I said, no, I don't think you should look behind you. And I'm like, I'm going to look behind me. There's something behind me I need to know about. And I'm thinking, I'm talking to myself and I'm saying, I don't think it's a good idea. And I'm like, I'm going to count to 3. 1. It's like, I think. 2. I'm going to look. 3. And my neck and everything was really stiff. And I look over my left shoulder and I see this 12 or 13 foot, 11 foot tall leader alien thing. And when I looked at it, it had these super giant black bulbous eyes, and it had these little yellow dots in it, and they flared up yellow, and that really freaked me out. And so I'm trying to, this is like hard to tell. So when these little yellow dots flared up, it looked like his eyes were like these big, deep black eyes that were freaky, and they flared up yellow. And right when it did that, I was looking at me and my tent through its eyes. I felt like I was Troy the tent. I felt like I was Troy the pine tree. And I was like, I can feel all my pine needles on me. And I felt every single rock. I felt every single leaf in a big, giant, round, about 300-foot circle. I could feel every single leaf, every single crack in every rock completely easily. And I could see my face, and I could see the tent, and I could see through this thing's eyes. And that's when I got all of its memories. And that's why I came up with these beings. I'm not trying to say there's no such thing as aliens, but these beings were tools. They are organic robots, and something behind the scenes was controlling them. And I call them disposable cloned avatars, meaning they're not necessarily important enough to keep around, but depending on, whatever they're doing, they clone. And then this was 24 years, and I have come up with a lot of memories and understandings of why they clone or why there's so many different types of aliens people think. And you hear in the Bible, I'm not really religious at all, but you hear in the Bible about giants and stuff, and I'm thinking, well, what if these beings or aliens were giants? I mean, there's no way that humans would be able to handle that. So they create these cloned avatars, organic robots, to do their thing, like what they did with me.
That's
go ahead.
That's disposable cloned avatars. You can't make this stuff up. There's something that you experience.
Right.
They
use lizard DNA, and they use amphibian DNA because, like when you chop their tail off, it grows back. Well, when you travel in space, there's a lot of radiation. Radiation destroys cells. So that's why I'm calling them disposable clone avatars. I think whatever these aliens are, or whatever, they might be controlling these guys from other dimensions. They're messing with time, space. They travel super fast speeds, breakneck speeds. So they use these avatars to do whatever. But I don't think they necessarily need an organic robot unless they're doing something like what they did with me.
That makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. If these guys are interstellar and they're traveling, soft tissue is very fragile, and you definitely might want to replace it when you need to, especially with the heavy radiation out there in space. What we're going to do now, Troy, quite amazing. This is where Third Phase Moon is at its best, when we invite the public to share their stories, and then, maybe even take questions from the public. What we're going to do is bring in F1, and we have another caller. She goes by the name of Betsy as well, to ask a few questions. And then we're going to be getting to Chalice and her incredible story. And Troy's definitely welcome to join in on that discussion as well. But let's get to F1 now. And bring in F1. Welcome to third phase, F1. F1, you there? Let's see. That's kind of strange. We'll try and get F1. Let's see if F1's supposed to be here. We'll try and get back to him. Let's see if Betsy's there. Betsy, you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Blake. How are you?
Hey, doing pretty good tonight. Hey, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me on.
All right, we got a little bit of... There's some crackling going on, but yeah, you got a question for Troy?
Yeah, Troy does drawings, correct?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Troy, you do drawings, correct?
Yeah, I'm compelled to do these drawings. I wish I could do them in more detail, but I do them as best as I can, what comes to me, yeah.
I make jewelry, and a lot of your designs are the same designs that I make.
Yeah, I bet. It's like these beings are sending symbolism, and I know I'm not the only one.
No, you're not. And I mean, F1, I've been talking to F1 for a while, and he's seen my pictures of my jewelry, and it's like they almost exactly match what you're drawing is what I'm making.
Wow.
And I've been in contact with beings also, so I just thought it was kind of... Now, you used to be from Minnesota, correct?
No.
Okay, all right.
No, I believe you. That's why I wanted to get on Third Phase of Moon. I wanted to have anybody, because I know I'm not the only one. I know there's people out there that have had experiences. They contact me on my Google Plus and Facebook and all that stuff, and they are there. They're there communicating with people on a different level.
There's some feedback coming in from Betsy. So Betsy, you got to clear that up. We're wondering what happens to F1. What's going down? F1's got to call in. Let's see. There he is. Let's bring F1 on. Welcome to third phase. F1, you got a question for Troy? Huh. Let's try bringing F1 again. We've got a lot of static coming in. We'll try and chop that out. Troy, watch the static there. Yeah, there, F1. Yeah. Thanks for joining us.
I've been here the whole time.
Did you hear me? I'm trying to say, come on in, F1. But anyway, welcome.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, I'm in the host queue, and my son's sitting here going, "What the heck's going on?"
Can you back off just on the mic a little bit? You're a little hot, but. So your son's listening to the story, and is like, yeah, Troy's story is quite incredible. You got a question for Troy?
Yeah, just a couple. First of all, hey, Troy, how are you doing? I hope you had a nice Christmas and Happy New Year.
Hello, F1.
Yeah, let me tell you real quick, brother, I've been compelled my whole life to find out why I'm different from most everybody else. No, it's like, but the thing is, I would tell my mom stuff that she says, "How can you remember that? You were only 6 months old." I can verify and specify facts and details about certain situations. I remember.
Me too.
I can remember being kicked out of a lot of schools because I was, quote unquote, too much to deal with. He has ADD. I've always been kind of like the center focus, and then also really treated poorly because I say it like it is. Ever since I was a little kid, man, I could tell you. And finally, in 6th grade, someone was smart enough to have me professionally tested, and they said, "He doesn't have ADD. This kid's bored." That was probably the coolest thing that one of my least favorite teachers that I would never expect it from did for me. And Marvin
It's
White,
fun.
if you're listening, thank you so much.
Yeah,
I gotta say,
F1, you did.
I gotta say something to Troy though. White, do you remember?
You saw his artwork.
Do you remember?
Right, F1?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm the one that. Actually, I've been in touch with Elise, who is also has a different name, but you know her as Elise Richardson, and I want to say that I've talked with. I'm 56 years old. I've talked with a lot of people, most of which didn't want anything to do with me, but I've also spoken with people like Brian Vike and I mentioned him a lot because he was so helpful, as you guys have provided loving, compassionate arms for people that are really just finding out what the frick is going on. And you provided that forum for people to talk about it, and also a lot of love for people that aren't getting it from anywhere else. And due to you guys being such cool people, and by the way, happy freaking birthday, guys. I'm so sorry I didn't say that earlier, man. Happy birthday.
Hey, man, thanks
to you guys.
Brett here
Happy
too.
birthday.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Happy birthday, Brad. Happy birthday, cousin. And I told you guys, give your frog a fly for me.
All right.
I got to say, you know what, Troy, my question is this to you, bro. First of all, I had a couple of doubts only about and please forgive me, brother, but, you know, I'm really on your side. I just want you to, don't look at me as negative, but I've been dealing with this issue that has been verified through a long process of getting clues due to so much research and categorizing which ones feel real to me, and then re-verifying and re-verifying and re-verifying and re-verifying. And you build up a certain list of checkpoints that you feel are real and that you can kind of verify yourself, and through others that you come to believe in through their consistency and their accuracy as check-offs as to people that are real experiencers. Let me say that. Okay. One of those things, bros, is this. Was this something that you can remember? Because you said, you know, when you first experienced this in Sedona, which is a freaking hotbed because there is a base, a submerged base up there, I know for a fact, where men in black have been seen guarding the exterior of it and right above the resort. Is this a pattern in your family? Or was it not talked about?
No, it's not a pattern in my family, but they have been coming to me since I was a child, since I was 7 is what I remember. With this experience, I lost about 45 minutes, and all that story I just told you was only about 10 minutes. So I lost a lot of time. Now, this is one, I don't know if it's on your checklist, but since they put an implant in my nose, it fell out about 7 months later, and I believe that there was nanotechnology in it, and that's what was inside this bearing that fell out. The reason why I think that is because I can now, or since then, I can call them out of the sky, and they signal me all the time. Now that's you know, hard for anyone to believe, but I have witnesses. I also have from my I think she's listening now, my ex-wife. She's in another state right now. She has witnessed them being invisible, and I've heard a respirator with a little one walking around. Now, for me, I'm used to it. They're always observing me, but I've asked her if she could hear the respirator, and she'd say no the 8 times. Then I would quit asking her, and then all of a sudden it's next to her and it breathes this respirator sound, and she jumps off the bed and says, "What the hell was that?" I'm like, "Oh, did you hear it that time?" She's seen ships the size of a town with me. She has seen ships in Italy when we lived in Italy. She's seen ships in Ecuador when we lived in Ecuador. I've seen these ships, and I have witnesses. That's why I don't mind going on Google Plus, Facebook, and here on Third Phase of Moon. And, of course, it's not my last name, but my first name is Troy, and I have witnesses, and I'm trying to tell people that they are here.
Here's a question coming in, and I'm so glad that you reached out to Third Phase of Moon to share your story here. We're going to get to a question from F1 here in a bit, and then also don't forget Chalice. Wow, we got Chalice. She's hanging in. We're going to have her on very shortly in regards to Area 51, and we've got some questions for her, and I'm sure she's got some big answers. But here's a question for you, Troy. Have you been aboard any of the ships?
Not that I know of. Honestly, I remember things, but I can't say I consciously remember actually being on the ship. I think I have. I think there was one time I was maybe laying down on the table. There was no aliens or anything. I remember seeing a round wall, and it was super dark and everything. No drawers, no nothing on this table. And I tried to get up, and the harder I tried to get up, the harder it was for me to move. And when I relaxed, I could just stay there and look around. But I don't know if that's
I got
real
you.
or not.
Yeah. We're wanting to stick to the vivid. For sure what's going down, and that's an honest answer there. Let me get this one in for you. What about this bearing implant that was in your nose? Where is that now?
Okay, so when I went to take a shower, of course I'm naked. I'm feeling for the water to get warm. I pull the little lever thing for the shower to come, and I feel like my nose is bleeding, when it tickles. And I thought, uh-oh, I'm getting a nosebleed, but that's okay. I'm going to take a shower anyway. And then this bearing ticks in the bottom. It tick, 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 tick. And I get this. I'm like, where did this come from? Did that just come out of my nose? So I wanted to set it down on the toilet tank or on the sink. And I said, I bet you this is what they put in my nose. So I put it in my mouth to save it. And as I was taking a shower and washing my hair and everything, for some stupid reason, I just spit it straight down the drain. And then I'm like, why did I just do that? Because I wanted to show everybody, but that's what I did. I think that there's some way they make you do things. I think they're in complete control of a lot of things. So I think that's what happened, that there's some kind of way they made me do that when I wanted to save it. Well, that's what I did.
We got a caller here. Let's see if this caller has a question for you. 978, you're live, Third Phase Moon. Welcome to the show. You got a caller for question for Troy? Hello, area code 978. You there? All right. We'll just seems like maybe they got abducted. Well, let's go to area code 949. Yeah, F1, you there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, questions for Troy?
Well, I was just wondering, like I said, the thing I was going to ask you the most is about the bearing, because I know personally myself that I unfortunately have had implants that took years and came out in very funny forms and very unexpected when they did come out, and I believe I still have some that are not come out. But my main concern is that do you have contact to this day, and are there certain things that happen that when to look up? Don't you get a feeling of things like that?
I'll be watching TV, and I have a DVR, and I'll hit pause, I'll get up, I'll walk outside, and I'll see two ships go over the house. The last one, The last ship I saw was with my ex-wife. We were out on the back porch. It was with this blood moon eclipse, and I knew I would see one. And this giant bright light comes going across the sky, and I'm thinking everybody's got to see this. But I've had experiences where not everybody can see them, only me and another person. And everyone's like, the other people are like, look at that, and the other people are like, what? And I'm like, they can't see it. But we were on the back deck here, and this giant light turned on, and I just got this new iPhone, so I did the little flashlight LED, and I went on, off, on, off, on, off, and then it turned its light on me and her on the porch, and she hits me. She's like, oh, your friends, they're communicating with you, because she's seen them. She's seen a lot of them. I think she's listening now. So that was the last time, which wasn't that long ago, where, I mean, and it's not done. I mean, they've been in my house, and I've seen all kinds of things. I could go on and on and on about experiences I've had.
You know, let me get into your artwork. And, you know, some people are saying right here in the Flash Chat that your guest brings nothing new to the conversation. And ask him if he is aware of something that can be associated with an abduction that is totally new. Well, you know, before you answer that, you know, I have an answer for that question in its own sense. Maybe there isn't anything new in regards to alien abductions. Maybe what everybody's experiencing, pretty much these stories are basically very similar. And these gray entities, whatever they are, cloned avatars, as Troy's stating, they possibly could be, that this is not generic. This is very repetitious. It happens all the time, and there's nothing new. But then this artwork, like, I got a feeling that there's something involved with this art that we've been looking at of Troy's renditions of whatever is coming into his brain. Is there anything of significance with this art that we might be able to learn something from?
Well, I've had everybody tell me there's something about your art, and I'm like, yeah, well, you know, for me, I'm used to this contact. I live in this world that I see that no one else is living in. These beings are interdimensional, and I've just accepted it by now. And I've had so many people tell me there's something about your art that just gets to me. It's something about it, and the symbols and the architecture, and I'm like, I know it's coming from another place. Sometimes I think it's like crop circles. It's the same thing. See, what I believe is these beings, they travel speeds so fast, and they vibrate at a certain hertz that they phase in and out of a dimension. And it's like, so like they're right here right now, but they are in another dimension right here. And that could be 1,000,000 miles away, 1 trillion miles away, but they know how to come in and out. And I think that's like the girl that just called with her jewelry. I know there's people that they're using crystals and rubies and emeralds and silver and gold and the symbolism and the pyramids and the circles with and stars and all these things are coming through. And the only thing I can think that's might be different, I mean, not to the abduction, but people get deja vu, and it's because they feel like they've been somewhere before. And I think they have. They've done it before, because there's alternate yous, there's alternate me's, and there's somehow we cross paths. And so these beings work on that level interdimensionally, and I think they somehow are communicating with crop circles and people's art and vibration and frequency and light, and it has something to do with that with my art.
Wow, you know, that was Troy, people, with him sharing his artwork, his incredible experiences, taking questions from the public, That's quite commendable, and appreciate all the people that share their stories. And Troy, you know what? We're going to go to a break right now, but I want you to stick around. I know you've heard Chalice's story, and if you have some questions for her, and maybe there might be some more questions for you, we're going to be going into overtime, third phase moon. Troy, you going to stick around?
Yeah.
All right, man. That was quite a segment. You know what? We'll be back in less than a minute with Chalice.